It's Thursday, the 26th of July 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jinshin Jitsu, safety energy lock number 26 came into the universe meaning total and complete. Safety energy lock number 26 is the final safety energy lock in the safety energy lock sequence in Jinshin Jitsu. And 26 is an 8, which corresponds to the infinity symbol. 26 also means that which was, that is, and that will be. Safety energy lock number 26 is at the level of the blueprint for our being. And so when we work on safety energy lock number 26, we alter, or not alter necessarily, but we repair or we revert to the original blueprint. So the original blueprint for our being for this particular incarnation that we're having on Earth. And safety energy lock number 26 is located, you can't really see, but here on the side of your lat. So if you put your hands under your armpits like this with your thumbs on your chest, then your fingertips are resting on safety energy lock number 26. And in Jinshin Jitsu, this is known as the Jinshin Jitsu big hug. By holding this position, you are connecting yourself to that which was, which is, and will always be. And you are also connecting to safety energy lock number 13 in the front of the chest, here where I'm wiggling my thumbs. And 13 is love thy enemies, remember? So 13 is about seeing the big picture. So 13 is about appreciating all of you, your light and your shadow, everything about you, everything about everyone else, and seeing that it is also complete as it is. And this is also obviously in the area of the heart chakra. So when we do this particular Jinshin Jitsu move, shall we say, then we are opening up the heart chakra front and back, and we are connecting ourselves to the universal energy source. So you can hold the big hug position and with conscious awareness count your inhalations and exhalations. So an inhale and an exhale is obviously one breath, and you do this for a cycle of 9. If you can do it for a cycle of 9 with full conscious awareness, then you can practice and go on to a cycle of 18, and then 27, and eventually 36. So there's a reason why it's 36, but I'm not going to go into that because it gets quite esoteric. If you can do 36 aware and conscious breaths every day is all that's needed for perfect health, wealth, and happiness. That's what Mary Burmeister, the lady who brought Jinshin Jitsu to the West, said. So 26 is an 8. Excuse me. So today, the energy of the day is governed by the energy of the 26 and or the 8. And 8 is an earth number, a very practical earth number. So remember, the year of the day is the same, also an 8. So we have this 8 energy very intensified. 8 is about boundaries. 8 is about deciding what serves you and what doesn't serve you, and where you're going to put the boundary down. So how will you establish your boundaries in order to maintain your integrity, the integrity of your energy, the integrity of your physical body, the integrity of your emotional body, the integrity of your mental body, and all your other etheric body, and your not just your etheric body, but essentially your energy bodies. And how do you keep the how do you integrate your own energies in there, and where do you place the boundaries? So when we do the big hug, safety energy lock 26, or if we hold the palm of the hand, because that's where safety energy lock number 26 is represented, then we help to strengthen our boundaries in all areas. So 8 is about being able to say no to what doesn't serve you. Excuse me. And so 8, especially in the Euro position, helps us to find practical ways to put those boundaries in place. So all the stuff that I've just told you about the 26, it sounds very esoteric and it sounds quite spiritual, and that can be extremely beautiful and even poetic. But you know, if you're like me, I have lots of 8s in my life map. You go, okay, well, what am I going to do with that? Right? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to give yourself a big hug. Yeah, but you know, I mean, I can do that and it can make me feel calm and it can make me feel integrated. But how do I actually put boundaries down within my world, in this 3-dimensional reality? Well, the 8 in the Euro position helps us to do that. It helps us to be practical. It helps us to find practical solutions to whatever it is that is currently robbing our energy. So an example of that would be if you and a partner have a contentious issue that keeps on arising, and it keeps on arising, and every time it happens, you're devastated, let's say. The question is, all right, so why is that? First of all, I mean, you could walk away, but that's not really a solution, all right? So then you want to ask yourself, what can you change? What different strategy can you adopt in order to make your boundaries more intentional and to give your boundaries more integrity so that you can actually manage how this affects you? And the 8 helps you to find practical solutions. So a practical solution might be being honest about how you feel. You're saying to the person, what you said really hurt me. It was hurtful. That may not have been your intention, but that is how I perceived it. And that's not okay for me. So it's not that your behavior necessarily is not okay, but that's not okay that this is how it affects me. So how can we move into the future by trying to do this differently? That would be a form of putting down a boundary. Also, obviously, just saying no when you mean no is putting down a boundary. And this is not easy. It sounds really simple, but it's not easy because inside, deep down inside, we actually want to please because we don't want to be rejected. We don't want to have others. We don't want to feel as if others don't love us. We all want to be loved for who we really are. And so we think, however, that we have to be what they really want in order for us to be loved. And part of that problem is because we don't actually accept ourselves as we are. We are not clear about that boundary with ourselves. So Safety Interlock number 26 helps us to establish that boundary on many levels. When you hold Safety Interlock number 26 with consistency, right? So you either do this big hug for 20 minutes a day, or you really focus like in a meditative way on the 36 aware and conscious breaths. It helps to connect you to the essence of who you are. It helps to connect you to your blueprint. It helps you to connect to that divinity that is within you. And it helps to move fatigue, anxiety, depression out of your being eventually, okay? So please, that's not a cure for depression. Don't throw away your antidepressants if that's what you have to do. It is just something that with practice and with time can actually help you connect to the essence of who you are, to that God spark within you. And when you do that, then you can live a more fulfilled and inspired life. We've, of course, got the energy of the 7th of July, which is about independent thinking. It's about asking the big questions. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Those big questions can be asked. The emotions around them can be felt. And the 8s can help to find practical ways that you can navigate your way forward. The villain today is the 7. So when we have 7 in the villain position, then we don't want to say no. We don't want to put down our boundaries because we are frightened that we will be embarrassed or mortified by them. So in other words, my needs, it's almost like we can become ashamed of our needs. And because we don't want to show that needy part of ourselves or that vulnerable part of ourselves, we don't want to make ourselves vulnerable. That example that I used with a partner, if you say what you said, I'm not talking about like a confrontational and aggressive, just saying once the situation is dissipated, when you say this, it makes me feel this way, or when you behave in this way, then this is what deeply hurts me. That is in extreme vulnerability. Now, 7 in the hero in the villain is not really keen on that because they don't want to lose face. They do not want to be embarrassed. So today, as you're going through the day, practically establishing these boundaries, connecting to the practical solution provider within you, connecting to the blueprint for your life, connecting to the essence of who you are, and keeping that in your consciousness, just know that it's going to be made more difficult to put down the boundaries, because the 7 in the villain position doesn't want to appear weak, doesn't want to look stupid, doesn't want to be embarrassed, doesn't want to show their pain because they may be humiliated by that. Vulnerability is what engenders connection, and connection is what we're after. But vulnerability is a big price that we have to pay for it. So that 7 the 7 wants to keep us like the iceberg, okay? I'm cool, I'm in control, I've got this, my emotions are not all over the place, they're essentially contained, but they're huge underneath the water. They're in the deep and the dark and the coldness of the ocean. So Jin Shin Jyutsu today, as I've told you before, you can do your big hug. This is really very beneficial. This is a great flow to do just before you go to sleep, because it connects you, because it integrates you completely. You can actually, your astral body can actually regenerate more effectively. So you have better quality sleep when you do that before you go to sleep. It's a great thing to do first thing in the morning. Any time of the day, you can take a little break and you can just do your 9 aware and conscious breaths. You can also hold the palm of the hand if you want to, or you can put both palms together in this universal prayer or namaste position. Hope you have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.